Hello, this is DrGAKMAN again, selling my entire collection of Captain Power on eBay. This is the power base and the 4 main sets and all of the figures. I also have some memorabilia and all the instructions and everything with this. The power base is complete. For those who don't know, Captain Power was an interactive television show, came out like 1987. The show did better than the actual toys did. It was made by Mattel. The idea was to sell the toys by, kind of like advertising on a TV show, that the toys were interactive. They used light. It was like a light gun system. The red flashes of light on the screen were scoring areas, and the yellow lights that would flash on the screen were how the show shot you back. There's a little rundown. This is the Energizer. You stick the Captain Power figure in here. He's the only one who fits in here because he's got a hole on the back, and it lights up, and the light burns through his chest, and he energizes, and it can hit with its flashing yellow light. It can hit area surrounding enemies. Let's go over the figures. There's Captain Power. He's got his power weapon gun. There's Hawk. He's got his gun. It's kind of glued to his hand because it's a little broken, and his little jetpack thing too is a little loose, but it's pretty good. The insignias on both of those are kind of worn, but the shine to them, as well as the other figures that had shine, that's pretty much fine. It's not all scratched up. However, the emblem on a lot of these are completely scratched off or worn off. Here's Tank, complete with all of his stuff, and Scout as well. This is a little loose, the little thing on the back here, and then there's Jennifer Pilot. She's fine. She's even got her little headset gear. On to the bad guys. Here's Blastar Ground Guardian. He's complete, but the gun was not very well made. This like hose or cable or whatever is supposed to go to the back of his gun, but it's disconnected, but it's still connected to his body. So I don't know, you could glue that later or whatever, however you want to do it. I have 2 Saurons and 2 Lord Dreads. This Lord Dread has a little bit more wear than this one does, and this one has the Zap Blade. This one doesn't have a weapon. Same thing with Sauron. This one's got the digitizer cannon, but the other one doesn't have a weapon. Both of the Saurons, their headdresses, their ponytails, metallic ponytails, they're broken off. They're kind of a little bit cheaply made, but what can you do? And then here's the powerful XT7 jet. From what I can remember, this was not working the last time I played with this. The other ones were. The XT7, they had a problem, I think, in manufacturing these or something like that, but basically there was an inner computer and a sound system and buttons that you press that gave you your score. Let me show you. Of course, I don't have any batteries to show if this is working or not, but I'm pretty sure that this one wasn't. The batteries it requires, 2 AA that go in the handle, and then when you take the handle, or back behind the handle, there is a place where the 9-volt battery goes for the computer. The A's were for the light beams. I don't know if the light bulbs are still working in all these. It's been years since I've really dragged these out. The XT7 also had a problem in manufacturing. I had bought several of them. This one was the last one. The other ones I gave away or lost or whatever. But the skids were very crotchety. This is holding up pretty well. I think I glued it a long time ago, and it's doing okay. But just know that the skids are not very good on the XT7s. The sticker placement I tried to do as best as I could as a 9-year-old, and I retaped some of them because they didn't really hold up too well. But for the most part, everything is pretty good. The cockpit still works. For those who don't know, when you reached 0 points when you used one of these jets against the television show, your cockpit would eject and you would basically lose the game. So there's the XT7. Here's the Phantom Striker. This was cooler, I thought, and the sticker placement is a little bit better on this one, and they don't show as much wear. It also requires 9-volt that goes in the top, and the handle again, the behind the trigger is where the AA's go. From the last time I remember playing with this, this one was working the best out of all the sets. You know, basically you shot at the show and you scored points, and if you got hit enough times, then, you know, again, it would eject your guy right out of there. Hopefully not at the TV screen, but there's a look at the cockpit, and it still works. The spring is still good in that. Also with the cockpit is the interlocker throne for Lord Dread, which there's the release lever. He goes flying out of there if he gets hit enough times. The throne still works. I thought that this was always a cool looking thing. And his little console goes in front of him. How you look in there when you're shooting at the show, and it completely pivots and whatever, and it supposedly had a hovering thing where it could fly off and hover or whatever. That was silly, but that's how they did it. And this thing can be moved down for targeting or whatever. And then this thing with the mirrors that was basically worked like a kind of like a periscope almost, is detachable, and it's still clean and good. Most of these they're a little dusty because they were on display for a while when I first had them, but for the most part they're clean. But again, I don't know if they're working. I don't have all the batteries to test these out and all that, but there's that. The Energizer requires 4 AA batteries, if I remember right, and it was working last time I remember playing with it. The instructions are included in all these. There's the Phantom Striker, the Energizer, the interlocker, and the power base. The XT7 came with full color instructions. I have several of those, like I said, because I had bought several of them over time, gave them to friends or whatever, and that one ended up being the cheapest one because I think they ended up making too many of them or something like that. So, and then here's the full color, full instructions for the power base. The power base is something that a lot of people didn't get, because by the time Captain Power was hitting any kind of stride with the TV show, they had come out with this, and I had bought this at Hills a long time ago, when they were going out of business, for cheaper than it was going for brand new. I want to reiterate, this is a complete collection of the toys, with some extra, memorabilia thrown in. Near towards the end, there were supposedly vehicles that weren't interactive, but they were like tiny vehicles that Blastar, Ground Guardian, and Sauron Sky Sentry sat in. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 of the vehicles. I only remember seeing them once. And then they had concept art on the back for Volcania, which was the bad guys basically base. It was going to be bigger than the power base or whatever, but they didn't release it because, again, many people didn't even get the power base. The show was really waning, and the toys didn't do too well, because the same year is when the NES really started to hit its stride in America, the Nintendo Entertainment System. So interactive TV show was cool, but the Nintendo Entertainment System proved to be cooler to a lot of people. So, and I said that it included all the instructions. They released videos of the show, and they also released these training videos. In the second video, I'm going to talk more about that. I'm going to pause here for the second video.